Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at some delicious oxtail with butter beans. Let's get started. So what I have here is some oxtail that was rinsed with water and some vinegar, and then we're going to go in with some seasoning. So usually when we are doing any form of brown stew in Jamaica or most Caribbean islands, we use some burnt sugar or browning. That's what I'm adding here. But I'm also going to be showing you the other way to get a nice caramelized look aside from using the browning. So once all the seasoning has been added, we are going to rub that in. Okay, so get ready for that. Make sure your hands are clean if you're going to be using your bare hands, or you could use some tongs, or you could put on gloves like I'm doing right here. So you're going to rub the seasoning into every single crevice. You want the oxtail to be flavorful to the bone. Now, aside from doing it that way, if you're not the type that likes to, get your hands in there, you can put the oxtail in a Ziploc bag. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is to become the best masseuse in the world and give this oxtail a really deep tissue massage. You're going to rub it in. You can give it some chops if you want to. You can use your thumbs. Just to rub that seasoning in. Don't be afraid to give it some real love. Remember guys, when you are cooking, you have to put a lot of love in it. Chop it up, I don't care. Just make sure you massage that seasoning in there, okay? After seasoning the oxtail nicely, you're going to be putting it in the fridge overnight ideally. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. If you don't have browning, this is the other option. You have the pot with some oil, and then you're going to be adding the sugar. So what we do is we allow the sugar to melt. So you're going to be getting a nice caramelization happening here. However, sugar burns really fast, so you're gonna have to watch it, and when it gets to that really nice deep brown caramel, that's when we're gonna be adding the oxtail, because we don't want it to get too dark. So what's happening is the sugar is melting, mixing in with the oil, and then all of that caramelization is gonna happen. This is what you're looking for, that beautiful color. You don't want it to be black and you don't want it to be a dull brown, nice and shiny and caramelized. After you've gotten most of the oxtail browned on one side, then you just start to flip everything over. You want every piece of oxtail to be nicely seared. While you're cooking the oxtail, just getting it nice and brown, make sure that the heat is medium to high heat. If it's low, then you're gonna have all of that moisture, and then the oxtail is just gonna simmer and have a really dull color. But if it's too high, then it's gonna brown too fast and then burn. Once we're comfortable with the browning on the oxtail, we're gonna just put all those marinade ingredients that was in the Ziploc bag, just put them back in the pot, stir them around so you're kind of just cooking them in the oil. And then after that, we are gonna be adding some water. So sometimes what I do at this step is I just cover the oxtail and allow it to steam in its own juices. Sometimes I just go ahead and do this, add the water, and then we're gonna let this simmer down, just simmer for a good while, low to medium heat, because we don't want the oxtail to boil. We're simmering it. If it boils, then it's just gonna be really stringy. All right, so we are adding some more ingredients. The carrot is mostly for color and also to help form the gravy. Bell pepper for flavor. The scallion is to add even more freshness, and the fresh thyme to revive that thyme flavor, even though we had some added before. So just add all of these, and the Scotch bonnet. If you want the oxtail to be spicy, then you can cut it up, but I'm fine with just having a hint of heat and lots of flavor, so I just keep it whole. At this point, the oxtail is partially cooked, right? So we are just gonna finish simmering it to complete the cooking and get it nice and tender. So guys, what I call this stage now is the last chance stage. Why? This is your last chance to make sure that gravy is gonna be nice. So you taste it. If it needs salt, sugar, pepper, just add it now. I added some soy sauce for salt and flavor. Now ketchup is not mandatory. You could use some tomatoes, but I like the addition of the ketchup, not too much, just a little bit, because you don't want the oxtail to be overwhelmed with that. You want to get that nice natural oxtail flavor. Now I really love using a Dutch pot to cook oxtail. I'm just using this wide pot today because I'm recording and I want you guys to see everything that's happening in the pot. So usually, definitely a Dutch pot for me. It's really thick and retains the heat even more than many other pots. So your oxtails are basically done right now. However, in Jamaica, we like to add our butter beans. So these are pre-cooked and canned, so we don't need to boil them. This just helps to get that gravy rich. It also increases the nutritive value of the dish because you know this is a protein source, and it helps to make the meal more filling, so you can feed more people with this one pot of oxtail. So there are many reasons Jamaicans might add this. So it really enhances the dish in my opinion, but you can leave it out if you don't have any at home, that's fine. So guys, remember the beans are bland, right? So now we've added them to the oxtail. We just need to simmer it a little bit so some of the beans can mash out and help form the gravy, and the beans can absorb the juices of the oxtail too. Believe me, oxtail is not that hard to cook, guys. You just need to give it a lot of love in many different stages. Remember to stick around to the end of the video for my tips as well. Yes, that's how I love my gravy. Not too thick, not too thin, but you can adjust it to your liking. If you like it nice and runny, you can add a little hot water. Look at that meat. It's so gummy and soft. That's what you want. You don't want it to be stringy, right? So pressure cookers can be used, but you know, you have to be careful, right? It's nice to simmer this long and slow. So guys, try the recipe and let me know how you like it. I did this with some rice and peas and coleslaw. I'll leave those recipes in the description. So as usual, thanks for watching, guys. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next time.